It was just after 7 a.m. when the streets were still quiet, the morning sun casting long golden beams across cracked sidewalks. Birds chirped faintly in the distance. Most houses had their blinds drawn. The world was still waking up, except for one little girl, '8-year-old, Mia Hastings pedaled her bike determinedly through the sleepy suburb. The front wheel wobbled. The brakes squeaked with every pull. She didn't mind. It was hers. Even if it was secondhand. Even if it was falling apart. She had begged her mom for weeks to let her ride it to school, but Claire, her overworked, perfectionist mother, always said no. Not safe. Not yet. Too many things could go wrong. But Claire wasn't there. This morning, she had left early for a meeting, leaving a note on the fridge and a protein bar on the table. Again, so Mia had decided. Today, she would go on her own. It was 2 blocks in when the inevitable happened. The chain snapped loose from the gears with a loud clank, and the bike came to a sudden halt. Mia stumbled, her little body tumbling to the ground, scraping her elbow on the pavement. She hissed in pain but refused to cry. She sat there, jaw clenched, watching blood trickle down her arm, her bike lying sideways like a collapsed animal. She got up slowly, wiping her dirty hands on her shorts, and crouched beside the bike. She remembered watching a video once on how to fix a chain. She thought maybe she could do it. Maybe she had to. But the links were greasy and sharp, and her tiny fingers were too small. The more she tried, the more hopeless it looked. She sighed, glancing around. Not a soul on the sidewalk, except someone was watching. Across the street sat a modest garage, faded red brick walls. An old steel sign that read Logan's Garage hanging loosely from rusted bolts. One of the garage doors was open. Tools lined neatly on the walls, and inside, a tall, broad-shouldered man was sipping black coffee while inspecting the underside of an old Chevy. His name was Logan Carter, 42 years old, grease under his nails, years of solitude behind his eyes. Logan was a man who kept to himself, a single mechanic who had lost more than he talked about. His son, Nathan, had moved away years ago after high school. His ex-wife had moved on long before that. Logan had only his tools, his garage, and the music that played softly from a dusty old radio. He looked up when he heard the chain snap and saw the girl across the street struggling with her bike. She reminded him of someone, not his son. No, Nathan had been a quiet, brooding boy. But Logan's sister. She used to ride just like that, barefoot sometimes, full of fire, never asking for help. She had passed in a car crash when she was only 19. Logan didn't think, he just moved. He walked out of his garage, wiping his hands on a rag, his boots thudding softly on the pavement as he crossed over to where Mia was crouched. You all right there? He asked. Not too loud, not too soft. Mia looked up. Her guard was up instantly, like a stray kitten, unsure of a hand extended toward it. I'm fine, she muttered. Logan knelt beside her, keeping his voice kind. Looks like your chain slipped. I can fix it, she insisted. I believe you, he said, but you mind if I show you a trick? You can do it yourself, I'll just talk you through it. She blinked at him. For a long moment, she didn't speak, but then quietly, she nodded. He smiled, soft and warm. All right, first thing, flip the bike upside down. Let gravity help you out. She hesitated, then did as instructed. Logan crouched beside her, not touching anything, just pointing and explaining. Slowly, patiently. How to reset the chain. How to rotate the pedal just enough to catch the gear. Mia's fingers fumbled. She got grease on her palms, but she listened, and tried again, and then click. The chain snapped into place. Logan leaned back and gave her a nod of approval. There you go. Mia looked up at him, her face breaking into a triumphant grin. It was the kind of smile that made your heart tug a little. Thanks. She whispered. You did all the work. He said, standing up. I just gave directions. Mia straightened, brushing dirt off her clothes. She was about to hop back, on when she paused. Do you fix cars? Every day. He nodded. Why? She shrugged. Maybe you could teach me that someday too. He chuckled. Maybe I could. And with that, she rode off toward school, wobbly, but proud. What? Logan didn't know. Was that someone else had been watching the whole time? Across the street. Parked just around the corner in a black SUV, a woman had sat silently, hidden by the tint of her windows. Clare Hastings, founder and CEO of Hastings Innovations. One of the youngest women in the country to lead a billion-dollar tech firm. She was brilliant, driven, ruthless in the boardroom, and barely present at home. Clare had spent years proving herself in a world that never gave her a break, and in doing so, she had lost count of the school plays, the bedtime stories, the scraped knees she never kissed. But this morning, something had made her turn around. She was already late for a pitch meeting downtown when she realized Mia was missing from the house. She doubled back in a panic and saw the empty driveway. The missing bike. The front door ajar. Asterisk for reasons she couldn't explain. She didn't call the police or her assistant. She just drove around, looking. Asterisk, and then she saw her on the curb with the man. Asterisk at first. Claire's instinct screamed danger. A strange man talking to her daughter. But then she watched. Asterisk, she saw how gentle he was, how he never touched the bike, how he let Mia struggle and succeed on her own. He didn't rescue her. He empowered her. Asterisk and Claire stayed, watching. Asterisk and wept. Asterisk because that moment, simple, unassuming, held everything she had been missing, everything her daughter needed, everything she had forgotten mattered. That evening, Claire returned. Not as a CEO, not with a press release or donation. Check. Asterisk, she came alone, with a bag of coffee and a trembling hand. Asterisk, Logan looked up from under a truck and raised an eyebrow as she stepped inside the garage. Asterisk, you're the mom, he said simply. Asterisk, she nodded. And you're the mechanic. Asterisk, he stood, wiping his hands. Something wrong with the bike. Asterisk, no, she said. But maybe something's broken in me. He waited. I don't know how to slow down, she admitted. I don't know how to be present, but I saw you with her, and I realized, maybe I need to learn. Asterisk, he folded his arms. What exactly are you asking? Asterisk, she swallowed. Teach me how to fix things. Asterisk, like a car. Asterisk, no, like being a mother. And so began a strange, quiet friendship. Claire came every Saturday morning. Logan would hand her tools. Teach her how to change oil, check spark plugs, replace an air filter. But with every lesson, something deeper was being repaired. Asterisk, she laughed more, cursed less, forgot to check her phone. Mia joined too. In the garage, once so quiet and solitary, filled with life again. Months passed. Claire sponsored a mentorship program through her company, Tech Meets Trades, offering funding, software, and digital tools to struggling mechanics. Logan's garage was the first beneficiary. Asterisk, but what mattered more to him wasn't the upgraded gear or digital scheduler. Asterisk, it was the laughter of a little girl learning how to replace a bike tire. Asterisk, it was the mother kneeling beside her. Finally learning too. And one day, asterisk, Claire sat beside Logan after hours, their hands covered in grime, sharing a thermos of lukewarm coffee. You saved us, she said. He shook his head. You showed up. That's all it ever takes. Asterisk, sometimes. You don't need to change the world to make a difference. Asterisk, sometimes. All it takes is slowing down, kneeling beside a child, turning a wrench, and listening, because love built not in grand gestures, but in quiet moments. Asterisk, and sometimes the person who helps fix your bike ends up repairing your heart.